I'm glad you're here. So today we're talking about it's the little things. When my kids were little, I always loved buying them things and bringing them home as their little surprises, just to see their little faces light up and then, just make their day. And, it didn't even have to be anything big. For Justin, he was into Wrestle Buddies and he loved the Ultimate Warrior and Sting. And so it could be anything like that. Anything sports related, it would make his day. For Amberly, it could have been a baby doll or, a Barbie doll that she could brush their hair. It didn't even have to be anything expensive. I could have gotten something from the dollar store and their eyes would just light up and they would be so excited because, I had gotten them something. It's then, there was time, we get to spend time with each other, playing with whatever I had bought them, or, I get to watch them as they play. And, you know, throughout the years, it was just the little things like that helped them to know how much I loved them. And, whether it was playing with those toys that I had brought home or those little surprises or just spending time with them, laughing with them, being silly, playing, you know, just having a good time together and just, having meals together and just all the different things that you do raising your kids. You just spend time with them. And, that spending that time with my kids grew our relationship. It brought us closer. It helped them to know mom's here, mom's got us, she loves us. And there would be many times that we would sit and talk, or like I said, over the meals together, or a lot of times we would talk. A lot of times those bedtime, you're trying to talk them into going to bed, and well, they want to talk. So of course I took those opportunities to talk. And another time was that they like to talk, or Justin, when I would tell them to go clean their room, well, Justin would get in there and he wouldn't be in there even 5 minutes, and he'd be like, Mom, hey, I want to talk. That was he wants to talk, but really what he was wanting me to do was help him clean his room. But that's when he chose his times that he wants to talk. So him knowing that I'm the sucker for, hey, Mom, let's talk. Of course I'm going to come in there. I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to have that time with my child and, talk. So I would go in there, and he also knew that me watching him clean his room, it would drive me crazy because, he's not doing it right. So I would just jump in and help. And yes, I would end up doing 90% of the cleaning, but, he thinks he's tricking me into cleaning his room, which the room did get clean. And I did do most of it. But there was also that time that we spent together talking. I knew this was his trick. I knew that's what he did. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go in there. I wanted to help. I wanted the room clean for sure. But I still wanted that time of talking and me being able to pour into him motherly advice or pouring into him God. Amberly's was different in that sometimes hers was at bedtime, but most of the time hers was she wanted to talk throughout the day. She wanted to talk as things were happening. Whatever was happening at the moment, that's when she wanted to talk about it. Whether it was why the kids are so mean at school, or anything. It could have been anything. And so that hers was more throughout the day, whereas Justin picked his moment. He was very strategic in his. So, but that helped us develop our relationship over the years to where we grew and we knew each other more, and it just drew a closeness. And it's the same with our relationship with God. It's no different. Our relationship with God is one that grows more and more over the years and over time. It's the little things. It's the everyday little stuff that grows in our relationship with God. Prayer, talking to Him throughout the day, spending time in Bible study, grabbing those verses here and there. We all get so busy. It's good just to, something, anything, as busy as you are. Moms are so busy and they get into a whirlwind. And so it's nice sometimes just to let me just pick up my Bible app and look at this verse, and that's something I can think on for a few minutes. In Philippians 3:7-10, it says, "But what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Christ. Yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Christ Jesus my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung, that I may win Christ, and be found in him, not having mine own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of Christ, the righteousness which is of God by faith, that I may know him and the power of his resurrection, and the fellowship of his sufferings, being made conformable unto his death." So Paul's talking about his knowledge of Christ, and he's talking about, not just talking about knowing some facts about Jesus, he's talking about knowledge that he's gained through experiences, through spending time with him and learning more and more about him. He talks about his former way of life as being, it was worthless until he met Christ. And then it just changed his whole world. 1 John 1:3-4 says, "That which we have seen and heard declare we unto you, that ye also may have fellowship with us. And truly our fellowship is with the Father and with his Son Jesus Christ. And these things write we unto you, that your joy may be full." The note on that says that fellowship is the spiritual union of the believer with Christ. So just like when Jesus talks about, "I am the vine and you are the branches," we have to abide in him. And we have to stay, apart from him, we can do nothing. So we have to stay connected to him. And we have to continually be growing in that relationship with him. It's the little things that we do each and every day that continue to grow our relationship with God. Spending time with him, spending time in his word, spending time in prayer. We've talked before about staying in constant communication with him, throughout our day, even if it's a "Lord help me, Jesus," or "I need you right now," or, "Teach me, Lord," or even thanking him for anything, everything. We can also, like I said, pick up the Bible app and grab a verse or two, just something that you can just take a minute to breathe and to think about those things. Think on these things. Like I said, life gets busy, life gets hard, and we don't need to miss out on anything that can connect us to God. That's our fellowship with him. That's how we get to know him. That's how our relationship continues to grow, no matter what we're doing, no matter where we're at. It's the little things that we do. It's the little things that we do, everything that grow our relationship with God. And everything that we do doesn't make God love us more, because he already loves us more than we can even imagine. It's the little things that we do that make us love him more. That's what that fellowship is. That's why we need to stay connected, because we're just going to love him more and more each and every day, the more time we spend. And it's the little things that create big things, the more important things. It creates a closer walk with him. It creates more knowledge of him. It helps us to see more of his character and more of his love for us. When we see those things and we keep feeding our minds with those things, that's what grows us. And, it's the little things that really are the big things. Just like when my kids were younger and growing up through the teenage years, and even now, those conversations that we have, whether it be a quick text here and there or a long conversation, it's spending that time together. So spending that time with God is developing our relationship with Him all throughout our day, all throughout our week, month, years. And we just grow to love Him more and more and more. So it's the little things that create the big things. So I hope that you have enjoyed this. I'm so glad that you joined me today. And until next time, I will see you later. Thanks, guys.